Hey guys, today's video is going to be about how to choose your champion pool. So this video is going to be really good for players who are new to the game, have played, under 300 games this season, started playing ranked in the last 12 months, or maybe are just even 2 or 3 years into League of Legends. But it's also good for players who are looking at their op.gg and they're seeing that they're playing all these different champions and they're struggling to find success. They can't find those champions that they want to win with, or they're getting bored, or they just can't seem to find the right combination of which champions, which role. So this video, it's going to be a live example, but I'm quickly going to go through why it's important and then how you do it. And then we're going to jump into a live conversation I have with a player where I actually go through and help them build their champion pool. So why do we want to choose a champion pool, and why do we want to stick to a certain number of champions? Well, first, we're going to learn the game faster. When we concentrate on a small pool of champions, we understand the game quicker because we're controlling variables. If we play the same champion or same small number of champions over and over again in League of Legends, it reduces a lot of the variables of the game in terms of your abilities, your wave management, your CSing, your trade patterns, because you're playing the same champions over and over again. And it allows you to start thinking about macro, dragon rotations, baron rotations, getting to Rift Herald, ganking, roaming. It allows you to think more macro because you're focusing less and less on your champion micro. So that's why it's really important. Second, you're going to win more games. When you play a small champion pool and when you have a defined small champion pool, you will win more games because you're learning them quicker. I like to look at champions like languages. If you're trying to learn 3 languages at once, it's going to take you way longer than if you just learnt 1 at a time. Because you're getting them confused. You're getting your Spanish confused with your English, with your French. Just like you're getting your Singed confused with your Volibear, with your Trundle. So what you want to do is keep it to your minimum viable number of champions. So ideally, the best champion pool is 1 champion, and you have a backup champion on your primary role and 1 or 2 champions for your secondary role, but you're basically one tricking. Obviously, most people don't want to do that. So finding the minimum viable champion pool for yourself, aka the smallest number of champions you as an individual can play in order to not get bored, not get frustrated, but also stick to the plan of small champion pool. It's going to make you win more games. Once players have champion pools, I've coached many players when they've gone from no champion pool to a clearly defined champion pool, you see an increase in win rate of about 5 to 10%. The third is you're going to increase your game consistency. As I said earlier, when you remove the micro, you can focus on more on the macro and you're going to master those champions quicker. Just like if you're learning 1 language at a time, you're going to learn that language a lot faster if you're dedicating all your time to that 1 language instead of 3. And then finally, you're going to be able to figure out what you like and don't like. So actually sitting down and choosing your champion pool, whether it's writing it on a notepad or just thinking it in your head, or writing it on your computer, figuring out choosing your champion pool will make you start asking questions like, do I like this champion? Don't I like this champion? Do I want to learn this champion? Don't I want to learn this champion? And you're going to start to understand, oh, this is how I want to play League of Legends. These are the champions I want to play. So before we get into the example, I'm just going to quickly tell you how. So in case you don't want to watch the whole video or you just want a really quick solution. So first, understand your current situation. Look at your op.gg, look at your Mobalytics, your Professor, whatever apps you use, your desktop applications. Look at your current situation and identify your highest win rate champions. Anything above 50% is a good place to start over the entire season. But if you don't have any champions like that, look at your last 20 to 40 to 60 games, which you can do on op.gg, and see your highest win rate champions in your most recent games and use that as your starting point. Then, or if you don't have actually any good champions, go to a site such as u.gg and it will show you basically the meta champions, aka the champions in each role with the highest win rates. And instead of using your op.gg, if you've got no successful champions or you want to try a whole new champion pool, go to u.gg, look at the top 10 to 15 highest win rate champions in the role that you want to play and choose 2 to 3 of those. Ideally 1, but 2 to 3 for most players is realistic, and stick to that for like 50 to 100 games and then review and understand, okay, did I enjoy this or didn't I? And then the third is, as I just said then, start playing the game. once you've got that champion pool defined, whether using op.gg or u.gg or looking at the meta, start playing the game, play about 50 to 100 games before you change your champion pool, and then at that 50 to 100 game mark, stop, look at your stats, look at your rank and go, okay, did I climb? Or, okay, am I enjoying League of Legends still? And 9 times out of 10, the questions are going to be, the answers are going to be, yes, you did climb, and yes, you're enjoying the game more than ever. But if it's not, you just start again, go back to your op.gg, go back to u.gg, and figure it out. All right, guys, so we're now going to get into a real example of myself talking with a player who's about 12 months into the game, so very new player, how I build his champion pool for him. So it's a real example. I hope you guys enjoy.
Like I'm doing better with her than everybody else. It's like I just can't seem to stay on one character, and I don't know why.
Okay. How long you been playing League?
For like a year.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably why. I mean, you're new to the game, so you're just trying to absorb and play all the champs.
Yeah, I probably played like every role.
Yeah.
Throughout my entire career.
And is there a role you're enjoying the most? Like, is AD carry you kind of leaning towards? Is it jungle?
It's like when I play jungle, I feel like I have more fun in jungle, but like when I go as an AD carry, I feel like I win more. But mid, I don't know. Mid is really a hit or miss. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So like kind of like jungle AD carry are kind of your two that you lean towards the most, you'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And what's the like goal? Where do you want to go to? So we're iron now. Where do you want to get to by the end of this season, let's say?
Realistically, I want to at least get to like high bronze, like bronze 1 or bronze 2, but like if possible, gold. Just anywhere in gold.
Okay. Okay. Bronze, gold. Cool. So, I mean, the issue is like, not the issue, but you're basically playing the game in a really healthy way at the moment. Like you've only been playing a year and you're kind of just trying everything because that's what you want to do. And that's what most people want to do when they play the game. There's just this problem of everyone in League of Legends is always like, you should get to this rank, or everyone has these desires of getting to these ranks. But also like if you're not ready to like almost settle down and play a certain role with a small champion pool, because you still have that, like, you know, you're bored, like you get bored quite easily. You've kind of just got to play out this phase of your League of Legends until you find like that really solid spot where you're like, I'm actually really enjoying jungle now and I just feel like playing it. Because until you basically decide, hey, I want to play this role and I want to play like 2 to 3 champions and that's it in that role, it's going to be really hard for you to climb because you're quite new to the game and there's so much to learn, so many champions, so many roles. And so you'll eventually come to this point of you can either keep playing like you're playing now and you'll kind of get the same results, or you kind of start specializing almost. Like in any career you take at school or whatever, you kind of specialize into a certain profession. And that's what you need to do in League of Legends to actually climb. No one really climbs the way you're playing League right now, which is fine because you're enjoying the way you're playing League of Legends right now. And we don't want to take that away. But we're either got to find that middle ground between, okay, I really like playing League this way, but also I realize to climb, I need to tighten up my champion pool and just play one role, or at least main one role. So that's what I'd recommend. I would really recommend once you're ready to like settle down with a role, maybe that's when you start actually looking at, okay, I should get coaching, because right now coaching wouldn't, in terms of one-on-one coaching, I think boot camp group sessions will be really good because they'll teach broad fundamentals like those sessions this morning or tonight, last night for you. Those are really good, but in terms of like actually one-on-one coaching, I would not recommend it for you until you've gone, hey, I want to main jungle and I'm going to play Shaco, Shyvana, and Evelynn. And then that's all you're doing. So I guess the next question is like, are you ready to set yourself up for solo queue climbing or not?
Me personally, I feel like I am. I feel like I definitely am ready.
Okay.
But
and so where are we going to lean? So if I said you had to pick Jungle or AD carry is your primary. What are we going with?
Probably 80 carry.
Okay, so AD carry primary, and then you queue up secondary jungle, right?
Yeah.
And that satisfies that urge of, like, you still get to play 2 roles there because AD carry is quite a popular role, so you will get filled into your jungle a lot. So, I think that's a really good strategy. So you have AD carry jungle. Now, what are your AD carry champs that you want to play?
Normally I would play either Kai'Sa, Misfortune, or Samira.
Okay.
I haven't played Samira in a while because she's like, I think she's my top mastery point champion.
Okay.
That I have.
Okay. Samira's a tough one. I would really recommend staying with the MF Kai'Sa.
Yeah.
There's also, I don't know if you use sites like this, like u.gg. You go to tier list and you basically go and just see what the meta champs at the moment are. You can see Siva's quite popular. Misfortune's up there, which is good. Kai'Sa's a little bit lower, I think. Yeah, she's very low at the moment. But doesn't mean that's a problem. Like, if you're enjoying her and you find success on her, that's fine. But yeah, I would almost recommend, can we try and keep it tight, like Misfortune and Kai'Sa?
Yes.
I would really recommend like 2 champs because you're quite new to the game. It's going to take you really a long time to learn these champs, and it's better if you specialize and keep it real tight. And then for jungle, what do you want to play?
Yeah, that's where it gets confusing for me because I feel like my jungle pool is like way too big. Like I play too many junglers. Like I play Shyvana. I sometimes play Twitch in the jungle. I even sometimes play some like off meta roles in the jungle.
Yeah, I saw a Kai'Sa jungle.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It seems like it works to me, but it's still off meta. So I don't know. I play like too many things, but in the jungle mostly, what I would do if I feel like I really want to go on a streak, I'd go on like Shyvana or like, just Shyvana. Yeah, that's it. Or I play Lilia if like Shyvana gets banned.
Yep, Shyvana, Lilia. Nice. Your Shaco looks kind of good as well recently.
Yeah, just started playing Shaco, and I really, it's like I feel like I'm not. I feel like even though I win games, I still feel like I'm not really like good enough with him yet.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
There'll be a good session. One of the boot camps is going to be about closing out games because it seems like from looking at your stats, like it seems like you can get a lot of kills and like you get a lot of deaths as well, but there's an issue with like maybe closing out games. There's going to be a boot camp, I think maybe next week, talking about that, which will be really good for you. Okay, so we've got a champion pool there. We've got AD carry, MF and Kai'Sa, and then we've got jungle, Shyvana, Lilia, and Shaco. That's a pretty good start. What I would say is next step now is try and play like, how many games do you play a day?
It really depends on how tilted I get. I don't get tilted a lot, but if I do, it's probably like for a short period of time, like 30 minutes. But I say I probably play about in between like 7 to 15 games a day.
Okay, so what I want with this AD carry jungle, just this new strategy, try it out for 50 games and let's see where you get to. And then once you do that, come back to me and go like, okay, I played the 50 games or 30 games or, it can be longer, it can be shorter. Come back and then what are the problems now? So after you've specialized and you're starting to trim down your champion pool, then the bigger problems or the problems we need to work on will be much more exposed because it's not going to be issues where, of course, when you're playing 20 champions, there's going to be a lot of things missing. But once we tighten the champion pool, then we'll go, okay, these are your biggest problems. And then we can actually focus on actually fixing the stuff. And then after that, what I recommend is we're going to have to come to a point where this account, it's going to be very hard to climb it out of Iron because it's Iron 3 and it's got about 260 games in Iron with a 41% win rate. So the way the right MMR system works is basically like they assume this is an Iron account. So what I want to do after these 50 games is we get back together and we go, okay, should you start a new account with this new champion pool? And what that's going to do is basically, I think your first game, it's like you versus silver players or something. It's like silver 4. And then you're going to redo your placements playing a tight champion pool. And then we're actually going to see what your true rank is. Because Iron isn't your true rank. You're new to the game. You played every champion under the sun and you didn't have a strategy. Like this is just a typical account of a new player who just wanted to learn the game, have fun, and understand champions, which is fine. The issue is we've kind of doomed this account a little bit. It's going to be hard to climb on this account, and so that's why we're going to have to visit the potential of starting a new account, depending.
I was thinking about that like a month ago. I did make a new account, and like it just the thought of going all the way back up to 30 is like what really killed it for me.
Yeah, fair enough. There is you can buy level 30 accounts for like pretty cheap, like I think like $5 to $10, and so they come leveled 30. I'll link you the site after that's actually good. And what that'll do is it means you won't have to level it up again, so you can just get straight into ranked with it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And that's what I'd recommend. So I'm not affiliated to them, and they're super safe. They've got like lifetime refunds if it gets banned or whatever, and they don't get banned. It's basically a whole economy. But yeah, I'll link that to you. You could do that now, or what I would really suggest is like just try this new champion pool for 50 games, and then come back to me and like, nah, I'm fucking bored of this, or nah, I hate these champs. And then we go, okay, let's keep adjusting until we find a champion pool that works for you. And then we buy that new account, and then you actually climb, and you'll get to like silver or gold in your first 50 to 150 games on that account. But we can't move on to that until we figure out your champion pool. Because otherwise we're just going to have to keep buying accounts because you get bored and then you fuck the MMR again. Yeah, so that's ideally when we buy that new account, you want to be really comfortable with yourself of like, yes, I'm comfortable playing these champs. Because the quickest way everyone climbs in League of Legends is either like one tricking or like two tricking. Like the smaller the champion pool, the faster people climb.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I recommend. I don't know if you've written that down, but I can put it in. I can put it in the chat. Did you have any questions?
So me, when I'm playing, most of the time I would solo queue throughout the day, but once it gets to like maybe 30 minutes, I would get on a duo queue with my friend, and I was wondering like if duo queue was actually harder than solo queue.
Yeah. So it's a good question. So when you duo queue, you'll get put in a slightly higher MMR than both of your averages. So if you're Iron 3 and your mate's Iron 3, you'll probably be versing on average like Iron 1 players because they realize that you're on comms and it's slightly, stronger.
Yeah, because I've noticed that when we duo, sometimes we even get put in matches with silvers, and it's like, what's going on here? And it gets really confusing. And then it just becomes like it's just a bad game.
Yeah. And also, like, sometimes duo queuing, like, if we've got a friend who's not very good at League, duo queuing's not going to be the best, the best way to climb, unless he's a very good player and he, like, helps you.
No, realistically, I'd say he's better than me.
Okay. Well, that's good then. That's a good duo queue partner.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, so it definitely is harder, duo queuing. Any other questions? Does that sound reasonable, what I've kind of laid out?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Because that's really your best path forward, but I also don't want to ruin, like, you're new to the game, and so, like, this period, while it feels like not productive in terms of your rank climbing, it's really productive because you're understanding the game and you're building, like, champion knowledge. It's like understanding how all these different champions work and their abilities. Like, that's important as a new player. It's just when you need to make that choice of like, okay, I've done enough learning. I want to specialize now, and then I'll learn the other champions just through versing them or playing against them and going, oh, I wonder what that champ does. And then you look them up and go, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then you keep playing your champion pool with that information.
Okay.
All right, so I just sent you some notes. Cool. So do you have any other questions?
No, not exactly. No.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I recommend. What I'd suggest is like I'm always available, so if you ever just want to ping me and say the games are going well or I don't want to play AD carry anymore, I'm more than
Yeah.
happy to come and be like, okay, let's try something new and keep figuring it out until you get something you're happy with. Because I think you're just that's like the biggest step you're going to take, and that's the biggest rank improvement you're going to make, is once we tighten up that champion pool with the champion pool that you want to play. That's when you're going to start climbing.
Okay.
All right, cool, dude. Yeah, so I put in the instructions, play 50 games, come back, see if you're happy, and then we start that new account. And then we start looking at, okay, should you get one-on-one coaching then? Once we've got that tight champion pool, that new account, and you're starting to run into real issues. Not like I'm new to the game issues, but like my wave management sucks, or my jungle pathing is really bad. And then we start going, okay, we can fix this based on your champion pool. And one-on-one coaching becomes a lot more effective.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, that was good.
That was good. Yeah, that's given you a plan, some clarity.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. That's what I'm here for. Okay, awesome. All right, we'll stay in touch. Make sure you can get to any of the other boot camps. There'll also be recordings for them, so if you do miss them or the time zones don't lay up, you'll be able to watch them. But I'd highly recommend for someone like you, they're going to be really beneficial.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome. All right, we'll have a good night.
You too.
See you later.
See ya.